So my name is Mariane. I'm originally from Brazil. I have been living in US for almost 5 years, and I moved to New York when I moved to America, and then I lived here for a year, and then I moved to San Francisco. Um, Actually, I moved to San Francisco actually because I was really into fitness and getting to all of this, and then I lived there for another year, and then I got back to New York. I am 24 years old, and today I work as a fitness instructor, yoga instructor, massage therapist, and I also do like fitness events and yeah, everything related to wellness.
Nice. So what drew you to, you said it was kind of like the fitness and everything like that, but what specifically drew you to San Francisco? Was it like a job opportunity or something like that?
Not actually. I remember like I when I moved to New York, it was an exchange program, and then I started to get into fitness, to the gym, and like be so passionate about it. And then looking all the celebrities actually like on Instagram in San Francisco, I was like, maybe it's a good place to take a trip and know a little bit more. I had a friend there, and then when I was there, I fell in love, and I was like, I need to live here for a while. So I came back to New York. I sold my car and I went there like with $1,000 on my pocket, and yeah, no job opportunity and anything. It's very different both coast, and like not just about career, but I'm passionate about traveling and getting to know like the different culture like that is in different like states. So yeah, that was incredible too.
So when did you get actually into fitness and into all these different kind of things?
So I have been to fitness since I got here, to be honest. I grew up like doing a lot of sports and dance, but I never like imagined that I was going to do this as my career. So I started to work with fitness when the pandemic started. Um, and yeah, I used to always like post on my Instagram, everything, my routine, but I never had clients. I never like I was just doing for fun. And then when the pandemic started, I started to really work with it.
Gotcha. And a lot of people, that was a big time for them. The quarantine period was a big time, whether they be, getting into fitness as something kind of to do and stay active. A lot of people also kind of fell out of their habits. I'm one of those people who, struggled with, because I like to go to the gym, I like to do certain things with my routine, and you're just kind of like stuck where you were. So either had to, develop new habits, new routines, kind of at the house or wherever you are, or it was really tough. I think a lot of people kind of went to one extreme or the other when it comes to their health and fitness during that time.
For sure. Like during the pandemic, I saw a lot of people like actually getting to fitness and like searching for doing something, and folks, and like today they change a lot their lifestyle, but a lot of people also got not motivated, like just being at home and having to do like the workouts at home. So I think like every person take actually the crisis in different ways. So yeah.
So how did you get, I think one interesting thing about you is your yoga. How did you get into that? How did you find out about it?
I also found out like I before the pandemic I went to Hawaii. I always was really to like weightlifting and just like going to the gym and build up some muscles. And I never was like a flexible person. And my first yoga class, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so boring. And before the pandemic, I traveled to Hawaii and I signed up for a Bikram yoga workshop. And I did every day, like for 2 weeks, every day 5 a.m. because my trip was kind of like more to reconnect with myself and find myself. And after these 2 weeks, I changed so much in a way that like I could experience and understand that yoga is not just about being flexible, but it's also about taking care of your mind, and everything start to change your like eating habits, your like way to deal with your emotional stability, and yeah.
You said it was kind of like boring that first time. What made you kind of keep going that for that second time? Because a lot of people, when they like that initial experience is so important for them that if it's not like a really great experience, most people are just like, I'll try something else.
Yeah, so my first experience was doing Ashtanga Vinyasa, and I didn't realize that was much more about our mind. I couldn't understand about breathing. So for me, it was just like a boring class. And then after that, I try a Bikram yoga class that is very intense. It's very like restrict. And since I was into gym, I like to sweat. It was like, oh, that was good. That was a good workout. So I'm going to give it a try. And then for the third time, I traveled to LA and I used to see that it's so cool, like acro yoga and acrobatic stuffs. And then I booked a session with a coach there. He's called Dominic. And he was like, oh, I also teach yoga. Would you love you to come to my class? And when I came to his class, I fell in love with yoga because he really taught like me how to breathe and get in a flow state. And then that was like when I fell in love with yoga.
Gotcha. So it seems like you're throwing out a lot of different names for like different styles of yoga. Is there what is like the I don't the normal, like what most people would think of as yoga, maybe what they would see on TV or something? What's like the name? Is there a specific name for that kind? Or I'm being very like very not
Mm-hmm.
specific, but is there a name for kind of that like standard style of yoga?
I think right now what is becoming very popular is flow yoga because it's kind of a mix of movement and yoga poses and stretches. And Bikram yoga is very popular too. But when, like, I think when people like, they never experience a yoga class, when they see, they have a view that is very like just meditating in Om. And it's not, you can also combine with a workout with other kinds of style, depending what you need right now. But yeah, I think I don't know if I got your question in the right way.
No, yeah, that makes sense. And the different styles of yoga and everything like that, is there a particular one that someone should like try first? Is there like an easier one or more like user friendly at first before they kind of dive into a more advanced style?
Yes, I would say Hatha yoga. It's like it's very simple. It's kind of like you hold the poses for a couple minutes, and it's not like, for example, vinyasa. Vinyasa, it's a yoga that always have a movement that you take the vinyasa actually. So you lower down and go up, lower down and go up between poses. Hatha yoga, you just go straight to the poses and it start to hold for a little bit. So you start to feel a little bit of stretch in your body. It's for me, I think it's the for who never tried would be the best option to start it.
You said you kind of worked out and did stuff like that before you went into yoga, but like what do you see the difference in like somebody like you with some background in like weightlifting and stuff versus somebody who just comes in kind of without a fitness background? Is there a big difference on that starting point?
I was not really good in fitness. Actually, when I started, I was very into sports like dance and volleyball in Brazil, like everything that was related to sports. But in gym, I was terrible. And when I moved here, I started to gain a little weight because the food is very different and I was eating a lot of fast food. So I kind of put myself into the gym, but I had no skills for gym. And I would say never get frustrated because when we started something new, it's never something that you never done. So what makes you better and what makes you passionate about it, it's keep consistent and see your improvement every single day.
Yeah. I think that's a big point when it comes to like even just whether you're yoga or lifting weights or running, whatever it is, whatever activity, you're going to start out and you're probably not going to be good at whatever you're starting out at, but
Mhm.
staying with it and tracking your progress in some way, I think whenever you can see just like you're getting better a little bit, that's so motivational.
Yeah, and when you see start like everybody started in a way that I just want to change my body, right? I want to look better. And after when this becomes part of your routine and your lifestyle, you see that it's much more about not looking good, but feel good, feel more confident, feel more like aware about your body, about your mind, and also see your potential, because we see us improving every single day. And I think we can actually relate it just to the real life, everything that we started new. If you keep consistent, you're going to get better, better, and better.
Yeah. So when it comes to yoga, like what do you think the biggest challenge, whether you're kind of a beginner just getting into it, or maybe you've had some experience, what do you think the biggest challenge is? Is it more mental? Is it more physical challenge?
Much more mental. For me, today, yoga is about our mind. And yeah, because sometimes you just don't want to show up. And that's the days that you need to show up, because yoga is about guiding yourself to the meditation state. And all of us today, we have a lot of anxiety. We are on and on and on. And I think we need this time to calm our mind every day.
So how long would you say a good portion of time is to dedicate per day to doing something like that?
Um, it's a hard question, actually. Depends, like I would say at least 15 minutes that you take in the morning, like just to do a small stretch and a small breathing to connect with yourself. If you don't really have a lot of time, but for example, I, especially me, I kind of need like an hour yoga every day. I think it depends of everybody. Some people like to do twice a week. I think at least 3 times a week will be great for you. Yeah.
And is there, you kind of mentioned like the times per week, and then it is a physical challenge. Like, should someone expect to be pretty sore after they start getting into yoga? Just getting their body used to that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Has a lot of power poses in yoga that use a lot of core, and it's about strengthening too. It's not just flexibility and mobility. So in the beginning, if you are not active at all, you're probably gonna feel a little sore. You're not gonna have the same emotion of somebody that have been doing yoga for a while, because sometimes your joint just get a little stuck. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's funny, like something that can be so physically and mentally beneficial when you first start out with it. It's like it's kind of like the opposite. It has kind of the opposite effect of being relaxing and things like that. It's actually sometimes more frustrating, and you just want to kind of like throw your hands up in the air and be like, okay, I don't know how you're doing that with your body. I could never do that. Like I'll never get there. It can be. I've done very few yoga sessions, but I've done a few of them, and it's like, man, this is just like crazy that people have this type of, and you don't ever see yourself getting there is the crazy part. But then it's just like anything, you just stick with it, and you're eventually that's going to be something you can do.
Yes, for sure you can do. I think we just have to understand our mind. Once you understand that you can create your own reality, you can do whatever you want. It's just a strategy, strategy, and show up every single day. So some people say I want to do handstands, but I don't think I can do it. Everybody can do it. Like if one person did it, why you are not able to it? Like you just have to train for it.
Right. And when it comes to kind of like the breath work, you've mentioned that a few times. What did you learn kind of about controlling your breath and how important that is?
This was a big game changers in my life. I was a person that I always suffer with a lot of anxiety. I am always like my mind going, going, going. And once I always, when I was doing yoga, I was like, oh my gosh, I got in a flow state, but I don't know why. And then after I understood with my teacher that it was like, because he guides the breath his entire class. So when you inhale and you exhale, you do this completely like breath, you start to calm your mind. And that's when you can be more clear of situations in your life. Sometimes we are just breathing like, and actually we are breathing poison. We are poisoning our body because you are breathing in anxiety mode. So today is even like techniques that is just breath work. It's no yoga involved, which is great to for your mind and for your well-being.
Definitely. Yeah. The breath is, it's so weird because we all like, obviously we all have to breathe. We all do it. And then none of us, we're not taught like this is how to properly breathe. This is how you breathe if you're in this situation. This is how you breathe if you want to like calm yourself. This is how you want to breathe if you want to actually like excite yourself and get, your body working. It's so weird how it's such a human thing, but we're not actually shown until we kind of get in like a yoga situation or, sometimes a weight room situation, how to really control that and how to use it to your advantage, not kind of let your own body take over. You kind of can control your body and your mind through your breath.
Yeah, in yoga, we call breath as prana. Prana is the source of life. So we like without breath, we can exist. So some people doesn't even take 1 minute of their day to do the completely breath exercise that you're gonna inhale all the way and exhale all there out. So I think if you take like 1 minute of your day to do this every single day, you're gonna see a big improvement already.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's something that, I think more people should know about. And obviously that's why we're talking about here on the podcast, but more people could benefit from, kids to, senior citizens, like everybody can benefit from breathing because it's something, when I say everybody, 99.9% of people, have the ability to sit down or whatever and think about their breath and think about how that can affect their health and life and just individual day. But when it comes to being an instructor, what specifically do you do with that?
So I created my own method of yoga that I try to bring everything that I loved, like fitness and yoga. So my yoga sometimes get in a point that is a bit like working out. I try to bring strength exercise, mobility, and flexibility. I think this is a combo for your body. You cannot just be strong because you're gonna hurt yourself. You cannot just be flexible because you're gonna hurt yourself. So you gotta balance this both things in your body. And then since I also started a little bit meditation and yoga, I try to combine everything in one class. And I try to bring this in a fun way where I like to bring like deep house musics. And when I do my events, I bring like deep house DJs, drinks, because some people think that because we are into fitness, we never drink. No, it's a balance, in our life. So I try to bring this in a cool way because I want to try to introduce yoga for people that like this can become something normal, it's not just because just like namaste people will do yoga. Everybody can do yoga and everybody should do yoga.
No, that's really true. And it's funny because like I feel like I'm so into fitness and health and all these things that it's just normal to me. But then other people kind of see my life and they're like, they're, a fitness, quote unquote fitness addict or whatever, fitness, fiend or whatever. And it's just like, this is their lifestyle. But it's kind of the same thing. I tell people what you tell people. It's like, all you have to do is kind of incorporate something, small within your life and do that over a period of time and, find a good rhythm, how it works for you. And then it just becomes part of your life. And then when that happens, you add another portion in. You don't, it's not really probably going to be sustainable, if you want to use that word, to try to do everything I'm doing as a beginner. I'm not saying I'm, the greatest of all time at fitness or anything, but I just have all these routines and habits that I've developed over years that, but I've done them at, one at a time. I've done this for a year, then I try to throw this other thing in here. And then, but like you're saying, you just, so many people from the outside looking in think it's a certain type of person that does yoga or that lifts weights. And it's just a person that has added that routine into their life.
Yes, it's a step by step, every day if you do a small step. I started like doing 15 minutes walk, and then today I become like passionate about it. So if you can give a small step every single day, that's also like a possibility that you don't even like it in your life. Like I have clients that I think they will never love it, fitness, but I think also have to know that it's important for your health for your body. Like we are here in our body existing. If you don't take care of this, it's not gonna last longer, you know. And all I think this related to fitness, walks, small runs, breathing exercise, as you said, is free. Everybody can do it. Sometimes we spend a lot of money in medicines and like going to doctors, doing checkouts and like taking a lot of pills. And I think the best medicine that we can do, it's free today. Everybody can do it. If you want, you can change your life.
Yeah, very true. It's like, it's crazy how much power we have within our body to kind of like heal ourselves in a way through, like you're saying, the breath and through just walking and being more active and obviously eating healthier foods, all these things. Our body kind of knows, it responds really well once we start taking care of ourselves. So I think just like we're saying, just slowly building those routines in and becoming comfortable. Because it's kind of a weird thing whenever you start. It's like people around you also will kind of be like, oh, why are you doing that? Why are you doing yoga? It's kind of a weird thing to do. Or why are you, we're going out to eat. Why are you eating a salad instead of, pizza or whatever? It's people definitely, I think, when you get into a new habit or new routine, your existing, kind of group of friends or family even sometimes are a little weird at first about how, you're doing something good for yourself.
Yes. So studying about a little bit of the coaching side too, when people say that, for example, you are focused on your diet, you just started, and a lot of people will tell you, oh, it's just a piece of pizza, chocolate pizza. They're saying that it's not even in a bad way, but they're saying that because they're jealousy, that you're saying no and yes for yourself. And maybe they cannot have the same capability as you to do the same. But sometimes people are not even aware that about this like unconscious mind telling them. So it's very important, if you stick with something, go forward. If they say, oh, it's just a piece of pizza, don't eat it. Like keep focused, because everybody knows what's going on in your life and what you want to be right now, what are your goals,
Yeah, no, it's really true. Like a lot of people, they want to almost like sometimes it's unconscious, but they want to like drag you back down to where you were because that's who they're comfortable being around. They a lot of times what they want, they don't go around it. So when you start being that, it makes them uncomfortable. It makes them feel like, oh, well, should I be doing this too? And then it puts pressure on them to kind of either do what you're doing or try to pull you back to what they're doing.
Exactly. Yes.
So from the going kind of back to the yoga thing, I think it's really interesting and there's so many benefits to it. But how long? And I know it's different for everybody, but how long for you did it take to kind of become comfortable walking in and actually, going through a routine or whatever, it's called in yoga? Like, was it a week, a month, a year? How long did it kind of take to just become comfortable?
So when I started to do the yoga teacher training, I was very like, I was not a yogi yet too. Like I did a couple classes, and then I finished up the yoga teacher training, and I started to teach right away, because I did the yoga teacher training during the pandemic and was online every day. And after 30 days, you have to like do the practice every single day for 2 hours. I just was like part of me. So I used to post every day on my Instagram, and like people start to DM me to start to teach, and I started to teach right away. So even when I started to teach, I was not even completely full, like comfortable doing yoga, but I was just like, okay, let's go. And then after that, I actually went to a trip to LA to take a class with this teacher that inspired me, Dominic. And I went to say thank you for him for introducing yoga to me. And I took a class with him, and he was like, even, okay, can you teach me? I want to see your class too. And I was like, no, I was not even comfortable there. And then when I got back, and I was like, fuck it, I think I'm good on that. I'm gonna, like, everybody is liking. So I started to just be more confident doing it over again. I think after 4 months.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting. Like the aspect of teaching is you definitely have to be a little bit confident to do that because you're kind of exposing your own knowledge and almost you're exposing your weak points in a way too. It's like hope, you want people to ask you questions. You want people to like really get into it, but at the same time, you're almost like, I hope somebody doesn't ask me a question I don't know or wants something that I don't know.
Yeah, but I think it also part of the yoga, it's teaching you just to be yourself and authenticity, something like that. Like, and if you don't know, like I had so many classes that I forgot the name of the pose and I said something wrong or like that they made me question it and I was like, I don't know. And it's good because you after that you're even gonna search for it, you're gonna understand more.
Yeah, it is. It definitely gives you an opportunity to like get better and improve, and it pushes you like kind of like to want to study up or figure things out beforehand, and push you to that next level. Is there a point that you get to in yoga? It's weird because like in weightlifting or in running, you you just like keep lift. I guess there's definitely a point where you can't lift any more weights for the human potential, but like you can keep training and keep lifting heavier weights, and then like in running you can keep training and keep running further and further. Is that kind of true as well in yoga? Like, can you keep going and keep like pushing to new and different levels?
Yes, for sure. um in yoga sometimes I feel it's even longer the time that you have to put it on to achieve like crazy poses. This advanced level, I think, like even if you're not like really advanced, you're still doing yoga and that's not a problem at all. But if you want to like do this uh go to this next level about poses, you gotta keep practicing and you can always like challenge yourself for each pose because what I said into yoga, for example, if you have any tightness in your body, it's emotional. It's emotion behind. So, emotion, it's energy in motion. So every day in our life, sometimes we go through traumas, and this is gonna be stuck in our body in some way. So sometimes you're gonna be really loose in your legs. Another day, maybe you're gonna be tight. And every day you gotta challenge yourself because your body is gonna be different every single day. And that's also the big benefit of yoga. It's releasing a lot of traumas. Everything that we have in our physical body is also in our emotional body.
Yeah, it sounds really cool, like that kind of connection between the mental and the physical. And, obviously there's a lot of people struggling with mental health and a lot more people, as well struggling with physical health. And it kind of feels like it brings those two together. And I think it should definitely be more of an emphasis on how the physical health affects the mental health and how the mental health affects the physical health, because we're definitely like getting, like I said, getting into more awareness of mental health and things like that. And I think that's good, but I think we're trying in some ways to go about the solution to that, not necessarily from a real human way. A lot of times I think it's from perspectives that may be um, sometimes just not, a little bit more artificial.
Yeah, I think we are in a living right now in a phase on the planet that I think the challenge will be the expansion of our unconscious mind. So I think everything that we can do to expand that is through fitness, is through yoga, for meditation, breath work, will be amazing. We're in a big shift, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. And if people want to check yoga out, can they do you do in person as well as online, or how do you do that?
Yes, I have private clients. I do New York City, Brooklyn, Long Island, New Jersey, and I am also teaching Punch House in 19 West with 21 Street in New York City. So if you are in New York and wants to join a power yoga class, you can just check it out on my Instagram. That has the whole schedule there. And yeah, usually we also do events. So you can follow me on Instagram and get updates.
Awesome. Well, go ahead and give us your Instagram then.
It's Mariane Flow. So MarianeFLOW.
Awesome. I'll definitely have to put that down in the description. And I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing with us really about yoga.
Of course. Thank you so much for the invite.